Hi folks, I'm Jeff, and today's reading topic is energy. Follow along as I read the article Traditional Energy Sources versus Green Power Sources, which is linked below. Alright, so traditional energy sources versus green power sources. Most energy in the U.S. comes from traditional energy sources like coal and gas. Green energy technologies include solar, wind, and other power generation methods that do not require burning fuels to produce. As a result, green energy sources generate little or no greenhouse gases or other pollutants. Energy sources. In 2007, 48% of the electricity generated in the U.S. came from coal-fired power plants, followed by almost 22% from natural gas. Nuclear power accounted for 19% of the nation's electricity supply. Green energy sources generated only negligible amounts of power in 2007. Biomass topped the list with 1.3% of the energy produced. Wind, solar, and geothermal energy accounted for less than 1% each of electricity production. Emissions and traditional sources. Emissions and pollution are a key concern with traditional power sources. The coal-fired plants that dominate U.S. energy production also produce more emissions than any other energy source. Emissions are measured in pounds of emissions per megawatt hour of energy produced. Coal generates 2,249 pounds of carbon dioxide, 13 pounds of sulfur dioxide, and 6 pounds of nitrogen oxides for every megawatt hour of energy generated. Natural gas, the second most common source of energy in the U.S., fares better with respect to emissions, producing 1,135 pounds of carbon dioxide, 0.1 pounds of sulfur dioxide, and 1.7 pounds of nitrogen oxides per megawatt hour. Emissions and green sources. Solar, wind, and geothermal power sources produce no emissions. Biomass produces nitrogen oxides and small amounts of sulfur dioxide. The amount of carbon dioxide produced does not exceed that of the Earth's normal carbon cycle and is considered negligible. Water use. The most common forms of traditional energy production, coal, natural gas, and nuclear, all utilize water during mining processes and for cooling during combustion. The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency states that water removal for traditional energy use can damage wildlife populations of rivers and lakes. Burning biomass requires a supply of water and has an impact similar to traditional energy sources. Solar, wind, and geothermal systems require little or no water and often reuse water supplies to minimize impact. Pollution. Coal, natural gas, and nuclear power all add pollutants to water that, if discharged into a lake or stream, can negatively impact water quality and harm wildlife. Energy generation from biomass presents similar concerns. Drilling geothermal wells can cause groundwater contamination if proper management practices are not observed. Wind and solar energy systems do not result in water pollution. Coal produces a solid waste called ash in addition to the pollution created during the mining process. Nuclear energy is another traditional system that results in large amounts of solid waste, which can take thousands of years to diminish. Natural gas produces no solid wastes. Biomass also produces ash, although the ash contains few hazardous materials. Solar cell manufacture generates small amounts of hazardous materials, but they generate none during use. Wind and geothermal systems generate no solid waste that can act as a potential pollutant. Alright, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in class. Have a great day.